Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com, and this is the software tour of the Kyocera Echo, the first dual-screen Android smartphone that happens to be on Sprint. Let's get to it. So in the previous video, we talked in detail about how the dual screen configuration works, how you can actually get one app on one screen, another app on the other screen, and use two apps at the same time. We'll put an annotation up on the video right here now. But if you want to watch this video first, we'll put the annotation back on the video at the end so you can jump back to take a look at that, because it's pretty important to understanding how this device works. So in this video, we're going to talk about settings, built-in applications, overall experience of the device, and we've got the final review coming up soon on Pocketnow.com. Now, of course, you can use the Kyocera Echo in the single screen mode like so, but what's nice is that when you open up the second display, the screen comes out of standby, so you don't even have to unlock it. So it's going to turn on in a sec. Here we go. And it ships with the Android 2.2 basic default launcher, which is kind of boring. So I've installed Launcher Pro here just to see if third-party launchers will work with the Echo, and fortunately, they do. So we've got Launcher Pro here. It works very well. Even the specific widgets work. They scroll nicely. So ADW launcher and the other launchers that you might use to replace stock Android will work. But you have to get a special application called Tablet Mode Extension in order for it to work. So if we scroll down a little bit, we should see it down. Whoop, don't want to do that. We should see it down here, Tablet Mode Extension. Here it is. It's a quick little app that you download from the Android market, and it allows you to scale an app across both screens, even a launcher. If you turn this off, it doesn't work, so you might as well leave it on. I can't find it in the background processes, so it doesn't seem to be taking up any RAM to run. Now take a note of the battery, 38%. And start the timer now. We're going to kind of keep an eye on the battery life, how much it declines every minute. I'm not going to cut out the video, so it's just going to be a continuous play here. Okay, so let's jump into the program list here, the app tray, and talk about some things that we have here. We've got battery use. Kyocera actually has brought that forward. They're just linking to the setting, which allows you to see what is using the most battery life. Naturally, on the Kyocera Echo, you're powering two screens. Display is going to be at the top. This device was sitting idle for about 24 hours, which is why self standby is 30% and display is 25%. In terms of battery life, if you keep this on automatic screen brightness, you should get through almost a day, but probably not. It really depends on how much you're using the tablet mode. If you use it in single screen mode, you'll definitely get through a day. If you're using the tablet mode a lot, you're going to have to carry around that extra battery that comes with the Echo. So if we go over here to display, I've got auto brightness turned off because for the sake of this video, I had to boost the screen brightness. Turning on auto screen brightness just makes the screen way too dim, although it really helps to conserve battery life. It has a light sensor, so when you go outside, the screen gets bright, it gets visible. One of the problems with the Echo is that if you're wearing polarized sunglasses, you can't see the screen, which is pretty annoying. So I'm going to turn off auto screen brightness. You can see where we are right now. So we're at about 75%. So keep that in mind when you are looking at the battery meter when we go back to the home screen and check that out. Okay, so let's go back here in settings. Not much to talk about in here. We can go to SD phone card storage. We can see that with the 8GB class 2 micro SD card, we're getting about 7.5 gigabytes of space, which is good because the device only has about 408, around 500 megabytes of usable memory before you install programs and things like that. So it's nice that it comes with a micro SD card, although you'd be hard-pressed to find a device these days without it. You can sideload applications, which is nice, so you can check off install applications from unknown sources. That's a good thing. Let us jump back to the program list here. Some things we want to take a look at. If we go into Echo Top Apps, it's going to take us to this website. It was already loaded, which tells you about the tablet mode extension, which is a must if you have the Echo. And then it shows you these featured apps, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, these apps must work in dual screen mode, right? Only a few apps will be able to run simultaneously, like the web browser, for example. And all of these apps, as we talked about in the last video. So I went ahead and I downloaded one of these apps thinking that, maybe one of these games will work. in the Simul-Task mode, but no. So the game I downloaded, I paid $2 for this, and I'm going to get a refund at the end of this video because it's horrible. It's called Chopping, and if I do the double tap, nothing happens. And the graphics are horrible, so and the sound is horrible too. So I gotta wonder why Kyocera is advertising these horrible apps that don't even work in the dual screen mode. My guess is that there are no other apps that work in the dual screen mode besides the ones that come stock on the device, which is a shame, but the SDK is out there for developers that want to make their apps Simul-Task capable. We're probably not going to see any. The Kyocera Echo is just one device. So let's go back in here and take a look at the app list. So a lot of these apps, or all of them, will work in tablet mode very nicely. So here we have the calendar. We can go to month view, or that's not right. We'll go into month view over here, and it looks great. It scrolls to both displays just fine, as do most applications that you'll find, even third-party apps on the Kyocera Echo. Here's an entry, HD Games. It's taking you to a GameLoft website, which will presumably show you some HD games, but we're not terribly interested in that. Let's go down a little bit more. So some advertising here, get Namco games. I don't really need that to be in my application tray. If I want Namco games, I'll go to the market and get them. We've got the Sprint stuff. We've got Sprint and NASCAR here on the Kyocera Echo, and it has problems authenticating the device because probably I'm not signed up for that. We've got Sprint TV here, a lot of Sprint stuff, of course. If we go over here, or if we can, I guess we'll have to put it into portrait mode. It's going to download Sprint TV from the market. And of course, you've seen this before. It allows you to watch on-demand TV or rent a movie, although it will cost you, I'm going to cancel that, or it's going to install, in order to use the service. See what else we have here. The phone application is interesting. It doesn't have quick dial, unfortunately. So as we talked about in the last video, if you're trying to call Brandon, and you want to do BRANDON, it doesn't pull up the contact, which is kind of annoying. And this is one of the apps that works in Simul-Task, so we can pull up, say, YouTube on the bottom while the phone is on the top. And there you can see it coming through. We're actually not going to go through with that. We've got Sprint Football Live, Sprint Radio, a lot of Sprint stuff. Telenav, GPS Navigator. Of course, you can use the built-in Google Maps navigation for free. It comes with the Sim 3, or the Sims 3, but you actually have to download some content in order to get that working. And that's pretty much it. There's not that much on here, which is kind of a good thing. We get the standard Sprint stuff, but we get a little bit less crapware than we would get with, say, an AT&T device, which is always nice. Device performance, we're going to show you full benchmarks when we do the full review on Pocketnow. Device performance is good, it's snappy, but it is a little bit buggy. At times, it has frozen to the point where I had to take the battery out, put it back in. Applications launch pretty speedily. Web browsing performance could be a lot better. Let's go to Pocketnow.com. We'll go to the desktop version after it loads. Kind of a graphic intense web page with some Flash content. I've got it set to ask to turn on plugins, so it's not going to actually load the Flash content. And it's a big bummer you don't get multi-touch in the browser, and they do that because if you're pressing with 2 fingers on the display, you're probably trying to bring up the Simul-Task menu, which is not coming up here. Let's try it again. Up, came up, then it went away real quick. So here's an example of where it's really not very responsive. So I did the there it is, about 5 seconds later, right? So we're gonna hit the back button, and it's still, I guess it's done loading. So you just saw I just flicked on the page and nothing happened. It might freeze right now. Maybe we have too many windows open. Okay, so yeah, it is, here's an example of where it's not stable. I'm gonna have to take the battery out. I'll be right back. And we're back after resetting the device, taking the battery out and putting it back in. And unfortunately, that's happened several times during our test period here. The Echo doesn't seem to be the most stable device out there, unfortunately. It feels a little bit unfinished, unfortunately. And I guess that's what you get in these types of situations. So we're at 36% battery life. It's been a little bit over 2 minutes, so we're doing it about 1% per minute, but I've seen it go down as high as 3% per minute, which is insane when you're doing simultasking with 2 web pages and the screen brightness is not on automatic. So you can really burn through battery really quickly in certain situations on the Kyocera Echo. So that was a quick look at the software. We're going to have a full review coming up on Pocketnow.com. We're going to talk in detail about battery life and performance and all those other things. In terms of the basic software offering, it's good that we don't get a lot of crapware, but the device definitely could be faster, and it should never crash. I mean, Android is a mature product by now, and it shouldn't become unstable to the point where you have to take the battery out. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And again, we're going to put up that annotation of the previous video where we talk in depth about how the Simul-Task feature works. It's really interesting, and actually that part of the phone is quite innovative. So take a look at that video, and thanks for watching. That's it for now.